over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Test now at Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning workshop. Make sure you and your family are
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out.
Got my pillow bathrobe on.
Learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. Learn how Medicaid can pay for your nursing home and home care expenses, and much more. This free workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, October 26th at 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray. Seating is limited, so reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop. Call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 855.
All right, guys.
352-3782.
Here we go.
352-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's...
Oh, man. Hey, guys. Welcome, welcome. 19 minutes. Actually, 19 minutes. It's the 19th day of October, and it's 4 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm okay. I just started yesterday a new prescription for my blood pressure, and it has helped my blood pressure zero. My blood pressure was high before I left the house to be here, and I've got some side effects going on, like a massive headache that Excedrin did not even knock out. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I might be a little loopy today. But listen, there's a lot going on. There is a lot happening. And we're going to get into a whole bunch of things on the program today. There's some just insane things going on with both Dan Bongino and Dennis Prager, who I love both of them. They're both great guys, and they're both very, very important to the MAGA movement, to President Trump, and everything else. And both of them are involved in a controversy, and Dan Bongino did something yesterday which was very shocking and surprisingly not getting as much coverage as I thought that it would. I'll play you the clip in just a bit. But last night, Tucker Carlson talked about how America is segregated again over these mandates. And there's a lot to be said about that. It's so interesting, you know, when you're involved in the issues of the day for so many years, there are so many things that divide people, and there's a handful of things that have been incredibly divisive over this country beyond that I've experienced, that have been beyond just the normal he said, she said kind of debate that goes on. The mandates are the new one. But last time I've seen divides like this, I would compare it to OJ, the OJ trial. There was a whole group of people, 12% of the population, who said OJ didn't do it, and then they said, well, if he did it, I don't care. You know, and there was a big divide then. There was a big divide during other things too. I mean, we can make a big list of things that go on, right? The war in Iraq, you know, which is on everyone's mind because of the passing of Colin Powell yesterday. You know, the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman incident. There are things that come up from time to time that divide people, and then something else comes along. Now, of course, the attention span of the news cycle is much shorter than it used to be. It's now about 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 days, and then something else comes along. You know, this which is kind of a new phenomena. But Tucker Carlson's right. We are becoming, over the mandates, a segregated society, and it's very concerning. And the reason that it's so concerning, it's affecting. This isn't just a debate that people are having in public, on the radio, on television. This is something that is affecting very serious aspects of the country's infrastructure. Police officers being fired, forced to resign. Airline pilots, okay, being forced out. And other people in similar industries. But this division, and even look at the military, our military readiness right now. In the military, there is less unit cohesion among those serving side by side than we've ever had before. And this division is beyond the OJ debate, kind of debate. You know, OJ was a big national debate. It went on, the trial was 9 months, it was a year, we had the pre-trial, and I call that the golden age of radio. It was an amazing time to be on the radio taking live calls, because every day we'd come in here, and before the show started, it wasn't here, it was another studio, but before the show started, the power just went out, Rich. I don't know if we're on the air. Rich! Oh, the power just went out, and I can't hear anything. Uh-oh. No, I don't know if we're on the air.
Yeah, we are.
Are you sure? Because I can't hear anything in my headphones. I don't know if everything's all muffledy. There we go. We are back. Okay. The phones also are not working, Rich. So we just had a power outage in the building. Yeah, we just had a power outage in the studio, and what I'm hearing on the radio on the delay has not gotten to the part where the power outage happened yet. Let me see if the phones are working. Okay, the phones are back working. Okay. It seems like everything's working, so I'm going to keep on trucking as if nothing happened. Although I can't take a break because the computer is rebooting, and I can't play my audio sound bites because that's rebooting. But I think we're back now. The phones are working, and everything's working now. Okay. Oh man, the gremlins. All right, so everything's back up and running, but I'll have to wait to play the audio sound bites because the computers were all shut off and are now rebooting here, so they're not ready to go yet. All right, but this divide is different. Okay, let me get back on track here. This divide is different than the divides we've had in the past, because the divides in the past were just a public debate. Now we have entire portions of the infrastructure of this country, and not just one thing. Like, someone yesterday, we were talking about the supply chain crisis, and I'd asked, when is the last time the Secretary of Transportation had to deal with a crisis? Someone said the air traffic controllers. The air traffic controllers, that was a national safety issue, because they were going on strike, and you need air traffic controllers. And President Reagan fired them. But the deal with that is that the military have very experienced and highly qualified air traffic controllers as well. So you could fire the air traffic controllers at the major airports and bring in the military to do it while things are being worked out. But what's going on now is in so many different aspects of American society. And the airlines, we'll talk just to give a couple of them. There's three major places where this is happening: the airlines, the military, and the police. And I'll start with the airlines. And then after the computers reboot, I'll break, and then we'll get into Bongino. But the airlines, okay. Now we're seeing things about sick-outs, walkouts, and all this stuff. If there is a purge in our airline industry, that's dangerous. And the reason that it's dangerous is because you could very possibly lose your most experienced people, not just pilots, but mechanics and others as well. And we put our lives in the hands of these people, and what they would be forced to do would be to promote less qualified people for these positions when the more experienced people leave over the mandates. That's a public safety issue. And it's pretty frightening. Pretty frightening. You get on an airplane and you've got a guy who was the pilot or co-pilot who's just become captain or first officer who just got promoted not because they were ready, but because a bunch of other guys are out because of the mandates, that's a scary thing. I wouldn't want to fly on that airline that was doing that. Would you? The military, when this goes through with the military, and we're not exactly sure how this is going to happen, but we are going to, not only is there a division being made inside of the military over this, like every other aspect of society, which means unit cohesion is down on many different levels in every branch of the military. You don't want that kind of division among people in the military. And on top of that, a lot of people are going to be out over this. And I think more people will be out of the service than we know. I don't think they'll ever tell us the extent of it because of the national security issue involved. And we could be in a situation with our military where they're not able to muster like they were prior because they've lost certain people that have certain levels of experience and key roles. The police, there's a huge purge and fight going on among the police of the country. You know, I played the radio call from the state trooper in Washington State yesterday, but he's just one of thousands of officers who are going to be out. And that's dangerous as well, not just because some police departments are going to be in demand. I read one article today. I'll get into more details on all these things as the show progresses. There's an article I read in one American city earlier this morning. I read the article. I can't remember which city it is, other than it's not mine, thankfully. But a lot of 911 calls will go unanswered because of this. That's dangerous. Police officers in Chicago are really up against it, with Mayor Lightfoot up there. And these officers leave. It's not just that the police department is understaffed. It's that experienced people are leaving and being replaced by less experienced people, just like with the airlines, if they do that with the airlines. That makes the country a lot less safe. A lot less safe. And we have an administration right now who doesn't care and is incompetent. So we have many levels of problems in this country that I see no end in sight for right now. Not right now. Not until 24. And things are going to get worse before they get better is going to be a common sentence that many people use these days. And it's a very easy thing to say, but to experience it is a whole nother ballgame. All right, we're going to take our first break of the day, make sure everything's up and running, and then we'll be right back, okay? I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
Seniors, Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Debbie can educate and guide you through the many different plans, choices, and cost considerations. I Will Advisors represents all major national insurance companies, not just a single carrier. Get the right coverage for you. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Everything seems to be working.
Hi, my name is Tom.
I don't know what happened. The lights didn't go off.
I got it too.
You got it too? The lights didn't go off, but the board went off.
Construction
Everything.
industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Hey guys, welcome back. 17 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977. Do you want to look younger and feel younger? Right? Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? Well, give Dr. Mitch Matez over at the BioStation a call for a free consultation available only to listeners of the Steve Kane Show, and talk to him about hormone replacement therapy. He'll sit down with you. He'll go over everything with you. And what hormone replacement therapy does, he's been my doctor since, I guess 5 years ago. When I turned 45, he became my doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez. He'd been with us much longer than that, but at the age of 45, I went in and I talked to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy. And hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural hormones. It's the hormones that decrease in your body as you age. It's part of the aging process. And Dr. Mitch Matez originated hormone replacement therapy here in South Florida in 2005. They're tiny little pellets about the size of a grain of rice before you add water. They're inserted into your hip, and what they do is they restore your hormone levels to where they were when you were in your 20s. It increases your energy level. It increases your sex drive and performance. Your overall energy level will be enhanced quite a bit. How do you think I'm able to do as much as I do? And, I feel better than I did when I was in my 20s because I live a better life, right? I don't drink except on our cruises. And I eat better than I did. I take better care of myself. I get more sleep. I'm not out partying and all that all the time like I used to do. I actually feel better than I did when I was in my 20s. And for the women out there, hormone replacement pellet therapy will stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. Night sweat's gone. Mood swings gone. Vaginal dryness, that's gone in reverse too. Women, your sex drive and performance will be restored as well. If you're suffering from hair loss, both men or women, the hair loss will be stopped in its tracks, and the hair that you have left will grow back thicker and fuller as well. And I often talk about meeting listeners before and after they begin hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation, and it's an amazing thing to see. I see these guys and women, and they look like they're 95 years old. They have no energy. They're half asleep. They're slumped down like a hunchback walking in. Hey, Brian, I've been listening to you and Steve for years. I love you guys. Then we'll do another appearance, and they started hormone replacement pellet therapy. They're standing up tall. Hey, Brian, last long time no see. And they're squeezing my hand. It hurt. It's amazing what it does. Now, Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation offers free consultations for listeners of the Steve Kane Show only. So make sure that you mention that when you call. Everyone else has to pay for that consultation. A doctor can only see so many people in a day, so he can't offer that to everyone, just to Steve Kane listeners. Here's the number, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. Hormone replacement pellet therapy will change your life, people. I promise you. 561-953-5490. All right, so let me get to this. A lot of what's going on here from the left nationwide about all these issues we're talking about right now involve a move by Democrats to purge from society people undesirables to them, which is anyone who disagrees with them. It's what a lot of it is about. And I want to start with Lori Lightfoot. A lot of police officers in Chicago, which is one of the most dangerous cities in America. Let's face it, right? Any day of the week, you wake up on Monday and you see what happened over the weekend. 50, 35 shot. I mean, it's a war zone in Chicago. It has been for years. And the mandate in Chicago, a lot of police officers are saying no way. And they're threatening to go on strike. And the mayor is threatening to fire them because she says going on strike is not permitted by their bargaining agreements. And she was asked about this. She's being very hard on the police. You got to understand, Lori Lightfoot, as a Democrat today, doesn't like the cops anyway. She was asked about the police and what's going on. So you'll hear a reporter, and then you'll hear Lightfoot answer the reporter's question. And this is in Chicago yesterday about cops threatening to go on strike.
Else who's not here, since it was short notice on the questions. I guess the big question is why legal action, but can I also put it this way? There is a different tone from CPS, from Pedro Martinez. he was asked, what's going to happen to those who don't have their vaccines, and he said the other day, we're going to work with them. We're going to talk to them. We're going to make sure try to understand what's going on. So why a different tone for CPS than the police? Well, I don't.
That was a reporter, and I don't know. It's a Lori Lightfoot press conference. Should I assume that that's a reporter of color? Is she still not taking questions from white reporters? I don't know.
There is a different tone for one versus the other. CEO Martinez has indicated that, and again, in agreement with the union, so that is one circumstantial difference, that every adult in the system has to be vaccinated. And that agreement was reached months ago, and they've been working very hard to execute on that agreement, reached with all the collective bargaining agencies that employ folks at CPS. So it's a very different set of circumstances, and I think he believes it's going to be a very small group that remains either unvaccinated or not signing up. And so he understands, though, that accountability is important, as do we. So you asked the question of why the lawsuit. Because we believe that the FOP leadership is trying to foment an illegal work stoppage or strike, pure and simple. We've laid that out in the materials, and we're not having that. The contract is clear and it's been known for a long time. The police unions are not authorized to strike. It's in their collective bargaining agreement, and it's a matter of state law. What we've seen from the Fraternal Order of Police, and particularly the leadership, is a lot of misinformation, a lot of half-truths, and frankly flat-out lies in order to induce an insurrection.
Okay, so now she's accusing the police union and the police, because the union's made up of police, unlike other unions that have no workers in them, professional union people. She's accusing the police in Chicago of organizing an insurrection. She used the insurrection word. Now, if you have police that are involved in an insurrection, you got to get rid of them. They may even be committing a crime. Chicago needs 10 times as many police as they already have, and they're talking about canning a bunch of them. What's going to happen in Chicago? Then this is what I believe the Democrats will do. They never want to let a good crisis go to waste. Remember Rahm Emanuel's famous quote, Obama's original chief of staff. He spoke out loud what they say in private and only think in their heads. And what I believe they will end up doing is nationalizing local police forces. I think that's what they're going to do. I think the Democrats are very comfortable having a United States police force controlled by the federal government in American cities around the world, and this is something that they would very much love to do. They always love to expand government and government control because the all-knowing federal government on the Potomac knows better than all. And that is what they will start moving towards when there's dangerous situations in places like Chicago, when they purge the police over the mandates. Because they're going to tell us, see, this is the Cloward and Piven strategy, the radical Cloward and Piven strategy that Glenn Beck used to talk about all the time. Collapse the system. And when the system collapses, the people will beg the government to move in, and then they get everything they want. And that's where this move is going with the police. And that's something that I know I'm not comfortable with, and I know a lot of you are not comfortable with. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to play this clip of Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino yesterday, live on his nationally syndicated radio show, threatened to walk off and quit live on the air over the mandates. Let me play the clip. This is Dan Bongino on the radio yesterday threatening to walk off.
Imagine the countless number of individuals trying to explain to these companies. Ever thought of that? The countless numbers of moms and dads who are sitting at some kitchen table explaining to their kids how they may have to move out, how daddy doesn't have a job, because a bunch of people in a C-suite thought it'd be a good idea to sit around and play pretend Dr. Fauci for a moment and mandate people jam something in their bodies that they don't want to take. You ever put yourself in that role? You ever put yourself at that kitchen table with mom and dad telling their kids that? Imagine how the kids respond, that fear they got to live with. You know, I grew up without a lot of money. My mom used to make bologna sandwiches for dinner. And when the bologna was no good, you'd cook it and you'd make it good right quick, right? I'm not leaving any of those guys behind. You can have me, or you can have the mandate.
Okay, you can have me or have the mandate, Dan Bongino said. Live on the air. And he's syndicated on Cumulus. So he even gave a J Suite. Is that an actual suite? Or is that a phrase for a type of suite? I don't know. So what's going on with Bongino? Bongino is here in Florida, where we don't have such, mandates are not permitted by Governor DeSantis. I don't know if he's vaccinated or not, Dan Bongino. That's not really important to what we're talking about. What do you think is going on with Dan Bongino? I like Dan Bongino a lot. I really do. And I understand where he's coming from, because he sees a lot of people that work at that company that don't have the glory, that don't have the fame, and don't earn the income that he does, that are being threatened because it's a national company. They're being threatened, and he's trying to stand up for these people so they don't lose their jobs. I get it. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. I remember last year during the shutdowns, they talked about essential workers. I believe every job is essential. I don't care what the person does, so long as it's legal. If it's a doctor or if it's a stripper, that job is essential to them, because that's how people earn their living. That's how they support their children and make their car payments and pay their rent and mortgage and buy food. So every job to me is essential. I don't want to see anyone lose their job over anything. I believe all jobs are essential. I really hated that arrogance that we would hear about essential workers. And as crazy as this sounds, when that was going on, I'm in the category that fit into essential worker, because this is media. And I didn't like that, and during those shutdowns, I'd come to work. I was like the Omega Man. There was nobody on the street. Everything was shut down. And I'd have to go through Broward County. Our old studio was in Broward County, and they had these shutdowns all night except for essential workers. And I never got stopped, but if I was, I'd say, well, I'm in media. Oh, okay, you're essential. Really? Media is essential? It's essential to me, because that's what I do. But you know what I'm talking about? I want to ask you guys this about Dan Bongino. What is Dan Bongino doing here? There are a couple of possibilities. One, we take what he says at face value, and he's standing up for the workers. Will he win that? The company he is with is a national radio company, so they're in multiple states. It's Cumulus Radio. Will they bend to Dan Bongino's threat? He threatened them live on the air on all of their radio stations. Never heard something like this happen before from anyone on the radio. Have you heard someone on the radio threaten, Howard Stern aside, have you heard someone on the radio threaten their employer like that, live on the air? I've not. Howard Stern aside, that's a different thing. That's a different type of thing. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like the Howard Stern show of the 80s kind of move. Is he legit with it? Will the company let him go? Will they let him walk? Will he quit? Why is he doing it? Is he legit? Do we take him at face value? Is it a publicity stunt by Bongino for ratings? There's a ratings battle going on that doesn't get discussed between him and Clay Travis and Buck Sexton in that Rush Limbaugh time slot. And I've been looking, because I love Dan Bongino. I think he's spectacular. I'm a big fan of Dan Bongino. I've been listening to his podcast for years, and I really enjoy his podcast. It's very good. Almost as good as my podcast. And that's saying a lot. No, but seriously. I haven't seen any stories, and I've been looking for stories about the ratings between the two, because in many markets, he's going up against them. So is he not performing well in the ratings? They're on more stations. He's much better than them, okay? I mean, there's not even any comparison. In my mind, there's no competition. He's the real deal, and he's very, very good, and they suck. But is he not winning the ratings battle with them? I don't know. I'm asking you guys what's going on here. I want to hear your thoughts on Dan Bongino. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Now, my doctor, I started the show telling you my doctor prescribed a medication for my blood pressure that I started taking yesterday. And I just want to tell you guys this because it's something I'm going to be going through during the show today. One, my blood pressure is as high as ever. I took my blood pressure before I left the house. It didn't do anything to help my blood pressure, so I'm going to another doctor today. Two, the blood pressure medication that the doctor gave me yesterday did two things. Neither of the two things helped my blood pressure. Okay, my blood pressure was high. Before I took my blood pressure, I finished all my show prep. I sat down on my couch and meditated for a few minutes, and then I took it, and it was through the roof for me. But it's done two things, neither of which will lower my blood pressure. It's given me a splitting headache that I've had since last night that I have right now. I've taken Excedrin, it did nothing. And it makes me pee like constantly. So, full disclosure. So we got to take a break for the second side effect of the medication that's not working on me for my blood pressure. If you're on hold, stand by. I can't take any calls right now. I got to take a quick break. But it's time for a break anyway. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to take your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up on the lift, pulled the wheels. He goes, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, have to tell
Steve
me
Kane
the
Show.
story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle
Steve
was
Kane Show.
misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with
Steve
a
Kane
quote.
Show.
Oh,
Hold on.
absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack. They're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener to the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning workshop. Make sure you and your family are properly protected from financial ruin. Learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. Learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. Learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. Learn how Medicaid can pay for your nursing home and home care expenses, and much more. This free workshop with attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, October 26th at 2 p.m. at the South County
Steve Kane Show.
Center in Delray. Seating is
Hold on.
limited. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 855-352-3782. 855-352-3782. 3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, man, all right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, that is our number. It's a toll-free call from anywhere, K-A-N-E, and the number 1, 888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I was listening to Dan, and yesterday he said he had 2 Pfizer.
Okay, so he is vaccinated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think about this with him? Will he win this with?
No, he said I'm standing up for the people that are employed by Cumulus.
Yeah, I understand. That what do you think he's doing it to stand up for everyone? Is he willing to walk away from, because he is vaccinated? You're telling me. I wasn't sure.
Say that later on in the show.
Okay, so he's vaccinated. Do you think he will walk away if they don't lift the mandate at his company?
He kind of laid it down on the line that he wasn't going to take this.
Well, they could fire him over that. They could fire him over that. He works for the company, and he not only did he call them out on the air, that J Suite thing, I don't know if that's an actual suite or a phrase used to describe a suite. If it's an actual suite, he told people their suite number in the office building. And executives of big companies don't like that necessarily. But I was talking to Steve about it on the way in this morning. He said it could be a publicity stunt, and the company is with him for the stunt. I don't know. It seemed pretty legit to me.
It seemed like that to me too. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really huge of him to do that.
I'm a big fan of Dan Bongino, and he's on fewer stations than the other guys. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.
You should have put him in Rush's spot. I hate those 2 guys.
Really? What? Why? I don't like them either.
I can't. They're unlistenable.
They're amateurs. They're not talk radio people. The other guy does. Now, I'm not going to comment on the other guy's ability to do sports talk, because I've heard him talk about sports on Fox a bunch of times, and he's good. There's no doubt about it. But doing issues, it's like me doing sports talk. I can read some articles and know what's going on today, but I wouldn't know what I was talking about.
That other guy used to fill in for Rush once in a while, and he was okay, but the other guy, when they took over the show and they were playing his music, I just said, forget.
Well, filling in is different than hosting a show 5 days a week. This is not an easy thing to do. People think it is so easy to do a talk radio show. Doing it is not easy. 5 days a week, 20 shows a month, and doing a show once in a while, filling in or being a guest is not the same thing as hosting. It's not easy. Those of us that are good at it make it look easy because but it's not easy to do 5 days a week. It's easy to do it when you're filling in, because when you're not on the air all the time, you got a lot to get off your chest. If you're doing it every day, that's another skill set. So I agree with you on that. Now this thing with Bongino, there's another possibility too. I'll throw out there. Is he legit, or has his ego gotten so big that he thinks he's invincible right now? Because does Fox News have a vaccine mandate too? I don't know. Do they?
No, I don't know who else does. Every day I'm hearing more people getting that.
Well, I don't want to lose Dan Bongino because I think he is very, very, very good. He wasn't my pick. My pick first was Bill O'Reilly, but Bongino was on my short list. There's no doubt about it, and he's great.
So I've been listening to him. He's my go-to as far as I used to listen to Rush every day. And
oh, he's your go-to? I'm not your go-to? I'll try not to take that personally, that I'm not your go-to.
He's the one I listen to now,
Instead of Rush, yeah.
Rush, not here anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, take care. So we got some information out there. Good morning, you're on the radio. Good morning. I hear
from Louisiana.
Mike in Louisiana. How you doing, Mike in Louisiana? You put the phone down. What were you doing?
Yeah, I was kind of looking up in my market where, you know, what Cumulus radio stations are in my market.
Oh, because you want to hear Bongino? Well, see, that's an interesting thing because the other possibility, one of the possibilities is with Bongino, a publicity stunt, and people, you know, there's a ratings battle going on between Bongino and Buck Sexton and Clay Travis. And look, here you are. You're a chronic radio talk listener for probably most of your life, and now you're for the first time searching for him.
Right, and that's the thing. Think about this. Originally, Sexton had a podcast on the Blade.
That's right.
All right, and his podcast, you cannot compare his podcast to Bongino's. Bongino's is much better.
Oh, yes.
That's much better. So, yeah, and that's the thing. And look, I don't want to lose Bongino either. He's very, very good, you know, and I just kind of wish that all of the former Rush stations had chosen Bongino instead of him. Now, the other thing is what's happening with Lori Lightfoot up there. This is, in my mind, this is just a power play by the Democrats. They want a national police force. I get that, okay? But this whole vaccine mandate stuff is a power play because they see that their power is somewhat waning. I mean, just look at the lack of power that Biden has.
Well, you know, you hit on something really good there, Mike in Louisiana. See, this isn't about the vaccine. The Democrats are never up to what it appears they're up to on the surface. And what the Democrats want always is more control, more government control. And it's not about Democrats would be pro-life if that would further their power, right? They're only pro-choice because that's what helps them solidify their power. That's why many Democrats used to be pro-life, like Ted Kennedy. You know, even Bill Clinton, when he was president, he used to talk about abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. You know, they don't say rare anymore, you know, but Bill Clinton used to when he was president. So, you know, Democrats stand for nothing other than power. And that's how they make their money and everything else. But that's what it is. And they see this as an incredible opportunity to not only gain massive amounts of power, but to do a purge of conservatives in society.
And that purge has been going on a long time. But remember what Obama said. He said, "I want a police force that's as well
a national force that's as equally well armed and as well funded as the military."
Yes. So, and if she's going by what he says, then she's going to fire these people.
Now you heard the clip I played of Bongino. I mean, and you listen to a lot of talk radio, right? So have you ever heard someone in talk radio, Howard Stern aside, an exception to a rule, Howard Stern, who's very good. I have a lot of respect for Howard Stern. People might find that surprising, but Howard Stern, I got a lot of respect. I would love to meet Howard Stern. He's amazing to me. But I don't always agree with what he does, and I don't like some of the things he does and says, but he does talk radio like it should be done. I mean, he grew up listening to Bob Grant. I heard him say on an interview, and that's where he got into radio. But anyway, have you ever heard a person on the radio challenge their employer like that publicly on the air? I've not heard that before. And survive it?
No, I've never heard that. Now, can he survive it? We'll see.
See, he didn't go after... There are guys in radio that have gone after program directors. They've gone, Howard Stern with pig vomit. They've gone after the general manager of a radio station. They've gone, made fun of engineers. Like Neil Rogers here locally used to always go after the engineers and sales managers. What Bongino did was go to the executive corporate level. That's a whole nother thing.
Look, like you said, they've been guys, and I know, and I know how you feel about sports talk, but there's a particular guy named Jim Rome who at one point used to always go after what he called the monkeys, which is the program directors. He wanted his show. On different on as many channels as he could.
Yeah, stations. Yeah.
Yep. He'd go after he'd call them the monkeys. He'd say you could take any monkey out of any zoo and put him in a room and have him throw darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, program directors, generally speaking, program directors are people that couldn't make it on the air, so they become program directors. And then they hate people on the air because they couldn't do it. For the most part, there's exceptions to that rule. Steve Kane was a program director, when I first started working with him, and he made the wise decision to put me on the air. So, but he was an on-air guy. It's like actors say the best directors are actors. Like Clint Eastwood, they love him because they understand the actors. But most program directors can't make it on the air for whatever reason, and they hate people that are on the air. So that is true. But going after a program director is not the same as going after the corporate executive for the national or international corporation that owns the company. That's a whole nother deal.
Yeah, you have, there are very few of these multinational companies. Cumulus, all these.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. He could lose everything with this, Dan Bongino. He could lose, except for the podcast. He could lose his radio show and his Fox News show, or maybe television and radio are two different animals. So maybe he likes doing the TV better. Maybe he makes we don't know what his deal is. He may make more money doing the once a week TV show than he does doing the 5-day-a-week radio show, and plus he's doing a podcast. He may make more money on his podcast and Fox News Saturday show than he makes on the radio. Maybe he's looking for an out. Maybe he doesn't want to do the 5-day. Bill O'Reilly for a year did a 5-day-a-week radio show and walked away from it. It was too much work on top of everything else he was doing. So maybe maybe he's looking for a way to quit doing the radio show 5 days a week. His podcast is usually an hour, 50 minutes to an hour. Which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, my podcasts are typically 50 minutes to an hour. My podcast yesterday was a little longer, but you generally you want to. My podcast yesterday was about an hour and 20 minutes, but generally a podcast is between 50 minutes and an hour. You want to keep it to. Just a little tip for you guys out there.
When we first found out about him getting the radio show, he flat out said, me getting the radio show is not going to stop me from doing my podcast.
Yeah, so he may, that podcast which he owns may be more lucrative to him than the radio show, and the radio show may be getting in the way of his TV and his podcast. He could be doing this as a way to walk away and be a hero. I like Dan Bongino a lot, so I don't know. I do not know the answers to these questions, and I don't want him to go anywhere. But there are these possibilities. Hey, thanks for the call. Now, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you'll notice I am dressed. I didn't walk out in my pajamas, but I am wearing my MyPillow bathrobe today. And I wear my MyPillow bathrobe at home in the mornings a lot. I've talked about this. My wife keeps our house very, very cold. She's on a lot of medications that are vasodilators and open up her blood vessels and make her very, very hot. So my house is a meat locker. And it always has been since we've been married. It's 25 years, and I'm used to it. But I do wear my bathrobe in the mornings a lot because it's cold. And I'm trying to keep warm. And I wore my bathrobe in today. I was walking the dog this morning in my bathrobe, and I kept it on and brought it in because, this is it's Christmas shopping season. And this is an incredible gift for anyone who's on your gift-giving list, the MyPillow bathrobe. And, you really want to stand with Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell is really going up against it. I was talking last week. He's being sued. His company's being sued. He's been kicked out of all these retailers. He's lost over $70 million this year already. I think probably closer to $100 million with the Frank speech that the hackers got to on multiple occasions, and he has not been able to open up Frank's speech in a way that it was intended because they've gone after him so much. He has really put everything on the line like no corporate person ever has done before, where it has cost him tens of millions of dollars. I had a story last week I was sharing with you guys. There's a local clerk who has lost his authority because he went to Mike Lindell's event a couple months back. Can you believe what this guy's going up against? Now, the MyPillow bathrobes, you haven't heard me talk about the bathrobes too much because they had run out of some of the colors. They now have every color in. And they have bathrobes for both men and women. They have heavier and lighter robes. They have many different colors. The one I'm wearing now is the heavier robe, and I wear a medium, and I have the gray, and it is beautiful. I've washed this robe so many times, and like everything else Mike Lindell makes, it is high quality, and it looks like the day I got it in the mail delivered to me, and it makes an amazing Christmas gift for anyone on your gift-giving list. It also makes a great gift for yourself. They come in, let's see, 5 different colors. The new ones they've added, burgundy, and there's some other colors I don't know how to quite describe. They have 2 different shades of blue, white, pink for the ladies, green. I want to get another one that's burgundy. They come in both lightweight and heavyweight. I'm wearing the heavyweight right now. I don't have a lightweight bathrobe, but I've asked for one for Christmas, so maybe my wife has one hidden in her Christmas shopping spot where she hides all the things because I'm nosy. But if you go to mypillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobes. It's an incredible deal, 30% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And, of course, they are just beautiful, made of cotton, a removable waistline. I have washed this so many times, and wash it and dry it, and it looks like new every time. So 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. All the colors are in stock for both men and women right now when you use the promo code KANE, of course, K-A-N-E. Now, any special you see there, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE. But I just want to let you know all the colors are in for the bathrobes. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And again, it's 30% off the MyPillow bathrobes. Take advantage of that while it's there. Okay, now we've got another conservative in the news that this one, oh man, Dennis Prager. How many of you guys follow PragerU? PragerU on YouTube is absolutely amazing. I've learned a lot from PragerU. Even sometimes when they do a video on something I think I know a lot about, I watch it anyway and I learn a little bit more. And Dennis Prager is a very important conservative man, and he is doing a lot. And what a lot of you may not know this if you don't follow PragerU on YouTube, but Dennis Prager in the last couple of years with PragerU has done so much very successful work reaching out to college-age people and waking them up to what Democrats are really about and what conservatives are truly about. And he has won a lot of young people over to the conservative movement. And Dennis Prager and PragerU are so important. And Dennis Prager not only has COVID, he says he got it on purpose. He went out, tried to get COVID, and got it. And he did his radio show yesterday from home, and I heard some of it, and he's coughing on the air. He's got COVID. He's not going to the studio because he's got COVID. He's isolated doing the show at home. And I hope Dennis Prager gets through this. But what Dennis Prager is doing is incredible. I don't know how old Dennis Prager is. I didn't look it up. It says right, he's 70. Because you never know what's going to happen. It could go either way for Dennis Prager. And, Steve and I have lost 2 friends, one of them close recently to COVID. And another friend of mine who's one of our listeners, I don't want to say their name because they may not want people to know. They're in our chat room on YouTube. He and his wife had COVID recently, and it was pretty sketchy as far as how it was going to turn out for them. And luckily it turned out well. But what Dennis Prager has done, I have so much respect for Dennis Prager. I didn't know too much. I knew who he was. I didn't follow Dennis Prager too much until he started the PragerU. When I discovered PragerU, I thought, wow, this man is doing just amazing and important work. And we cannot afford to lose Dennis Prager. So pray for Dennis Prager. He says he got COVID on purpose, and he said he got close to people and was hugging people to get it. Dennis Prager. So everyone put Dennis Prager in your prayers. Let's pray that it works out for him. And Dennis Prager, I have a more understanding of Dennis Prager's way of thinking than I do Dan Bongino. I think I can say with confidence that Dennis Prager is not only telling the truth 100% about what he did, but he's a true believer who is willing to take such risks to prove a point, which I think is insane to do. And there was a thing in the 90s. There was a trend that was short-lived, I hope, where a lot of gays were trying to get HIV and AIDS. They called them bug jumpers or something, and it became a thing for a while. Bug chasers. I can't remember. It had bug in it, what they were trying to do. And that was crazy at the time. And it would be crazy to do today. And what Dennis Prager has done, I think, is insane. And I think it sends, and believe me, I really love what Dennis Prager is doing. He is one of the most brilliant conservative minds ever. If you have not, do this after the show, after we go off the air at 9 o'clock, check out PragerU. It will blow your mind away. Okay? I don't care how much you think you know about conservatism and liberals. PragerU is so important and so amazing. But what he has done is dangerous. He's risked his life, and it's also dangerous if others try to do what he did. I think it's a very, very poor example for Dennis Prager to be giving out there. I'm not happy with it at all that he's done this, not just because of his own personal health and safety, which I want him to get through this and keep going and doing what he's doing. I don't want him to encourage other people to do something that is so stupid that when I first heard it, I thought, oh, this is not, I saw it on Twitter, I'm like, there's no way, and I went and listened to him talking about it while he was coughing. It's a bad example, too, to give. I really think he's made a mistake on multiple levels, not just for his personal health and safety, but to do this is a very dangerous example for him to give out there. I think it's a big mistake. But it's time to take our break for the top of the hour. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach. Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning workshop. Make sure you and your family are properly protected from financial ruin. Learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. Learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. Learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. Learn how Medicaid can pay for your nursing home and home care expenses, and much more. This free workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, October 26th at 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray. Seating is limited, so reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop. Call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 855-352-3782. 855-352-3782. We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Seniors, Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954.
Paul, $35 super chat. Thank you. Celebrating a year listening to Brian. It's been great. Well, thank you, Paul.
And guide you through the many different plans.
Thank you so much for that super chat. And thanks for joining us. A year.
Represents all major national insurance companies, not just a single carrier. Get the right coverage for you.
Yeah, everyone thank Paul, please, for that super chat.
I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the
thank you so much, Paul.
At little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to one pair of quality diabetic shoes
I have
and 3
a
custom
splitting
inserts.
headache that I can't take anything for because I took Excedrin before I left. It's too soon. From this blood pressure medication that's doing me no good with my blood pressure. So my blood pressure's high, and I have like a migraine level splitting headache right now. And I got an hour and 56 minutes to go.
Show toll free. Dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now, here's...
All righty. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-COCAINE-1. Brought up some really hard issues in the first hour with Dan Bongino and Dennis Prager. Your calls on both of those are certainly welcome. Now, you may have seen over the weekend, pretty frightening, that the Chinese have this missile that flew around the planet. And China, China, who they sent up people into space the other day. They got this intercontinental ballistic missile. They can hit any spot on the planet. A lot of you may not know, how did the Chinese get in space? It's because of the Clintons. The Clintons, there was some fundraising scandals with the Clintons that resulted in exchange for campaign cash, giving the Chinese back in the 90s classified missile guidance technology. And then all of a sudden they got a manned space, because manned space flight is basically just a missile with people at the top of it instead of a warhead. And the Clintons are responsible for this. And there was a story, I can't remember the name. If someone remembers the name of the Chinese guy that gave them the money, but a Chinese guy, the name Charlie Tree pops in my head, but I'm not sure that it was Charlie Tree. But Charlie Tree does pop into my mind. Let me know if I'm correct on this or not, guys. If not, he was involved in some other scummy business with the Clintons. But a Chinese man walked into a Clinton campaign headquarters with a manila envelope filled with money, and boom, that was it. Next thing you know, the Chinese got missile guidance technology. It's pretty scary, huh? And this is pretty scary. It's pretty alarming that they have this ability now. And especially after last year, what we've gone through in the last almost 2 years now with COVID, with the, and now they have this ability. They are definitely on the move, and it's frightening. It really, truly is. And Jen Psaki should be fired what Jen Psaki said, did you guys catch what Jen Psaki said? I'm going to play you the clip. She was asked about this intercontinental missile that China now possesses that can hit any spot on the planet. And Jen Psaki was asked about it, and her answer, without even thinking about it, she should be fired immediately. Listen to this, Jen Psaki press conference.
And then can you comment on reports that China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile over this summer to the surprise of U.S. officials? Are these accurate, and do these raise concerns about China's nuclear capabilities?
Well, I know Secretary Austin, I should say, was asked this question this morning and addressed it, but I'm not going to comment on the specific report. I can say and would echo what he said, which is generally speaking, we've made clear our concerned about the military capabilities that the PRC continues to pursue. And we have been consistent in our approach with China. We welcome stiff competition, but do not want that competition to veer into conflict.
Okay, did you hear what she said at the end? She's talking about the missile. Listen.
To pursue, and we have been consistent in our approach with China. We welcome stiff competition, but
we welcome stiff competition? Really? Does that? Who else does that apply to? Iran? We welcome stiff competition? They have an intercontinental missile that can hit any spot on the planet Earth. And Jen Psaki says that we, meaning the White House and the Biden administration, welcome stiff competition? She welcomes an arms race? Are you kidding me? I mean, I have a headache from this medication that I'm taking that doesn't work. Gave me a headache, thank you. It's a medication that gives headaches and makes you pee all day and nonstop. If I didn't have a headache from this medication I'm taking, I would have a headache right now. So Joe Biden welcomes an arms race. Ronald Reagan ended the arms race. And now she welcomes it. And Biden welcomes it. Why do you think that is? Why would she say something? What she said was stupid to say publicly, but Jen Psaki, you know, these liberals every once in a while say the quiet parts out loud. They say out loud what they say in private and don't say on television. That was a slip. The reason they welcome this is because the donors welcome it. Because if they have this incredible missile, what do we need? We've got to build more defenses to this new ability that they have that started with the Clintons in the 90s. See, the donors like it. And all Biden cares about and the Democrats is making money in the donors. They don't care about you. This Texas law. They don't care about women and their right to choose. They care about what their donors want. That's all they care about because the donors pay them. Not some poor woman that's scared out of her mind about how she's going to feed children that they claim to care about so much. But the donors will have to build missile shields and missiles and research and everything else. And an arms race, it's like what Eisenhower, an arms race is what the donors want. And she said the quiet part out loud. She should be fired on the spot. And where's the media on this? This right now, let me see what the lead story is on Fox News' website. Because to me, that should be the lead story. What kind of White House welcomes an arms race with an enemy, a sworn enemy? The lead story is Biden administration just got a rude awakening over chaotic and deadly Afghan withdrawal, is the lead story, not that. Are you kidding me? That is, so Jen Psaki is telling us that the Biden administration, which of course includes Joe Biden, if he's with it on any particular day, welcome China having the ability to strike any place on the planet with a nuclear weapon. They welcome that. It's not even mentioned in the news. You had to be watching to catch it. My goodness. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. K-A-N-E and the number 1. 888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Hey, Doug. What's up?
Oh man, hearing that Jen Psaki, she's probably the most annoying public speaker I've ever heard. I can't stand her voice.
Well, that was the most informative press briefing we've had since she's had the job, because she told us right there that Joe Biden and the Biden administration want China to have a nuclear ability to hit any place on the planet. They're welcoming it. It's competition. It's like the Olympic Games or something.
They must be all behind closed doors saying, you do this, we'll do that, you do trying to rip us off, steal our money, but this has been going.
Well, this is different. This is them endangering our lives and welcoming it. And I thought these people are for gun control. They don't want law-abiding U.S. citizens to have the ability to own a firearm that we're allowed to own according to the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution and our Bill of Rights. But they want China to have the ability to wipe out cities at will.
Yeah, exactly. And will they do it? Maybe. They got a lot.
China has very little value on human life.
That's for sure. No value at all. There's more of them than everybody else combined, I understand. And they probably wouldn't mind starting a war with us should we do something. But I hope they wouldn't do anything like that. But why does China need to have all these high-class weapons if they're not having something up their sleeve?
China has a plan for global domination. Jacqueline, $20 super chat. Thank you, Jacqueline. I want to thank Jacqueline.
They want to take over.
Yeah, and now we've got another Cold War. Now we got another Cold War, and the last Cold War with Russia, I believe, was total BS. I didn't know that growing up, but as an adult, I see what goes on here. I think the Cold War was an entire thing, just like this, with the donors, with the remember Eisenhower, beware the military-industrial complex. How many young men are dead from the Cold War, right? Vietnam, and Korea and all these things. And look what we're finding out now. They're welcoming competition with nuclear missiles with China. This is insane. I mean, I can't even believe when I hear it that she said it.
Yeah, this is a chess game, and we better make sure we play our game right. Now we have to make sure we have something better for this. We have no defensiveness, I understand. And
we need more of them. We got to build more of them now. Now we got to go to South Korea, and we got to go to China. To Japan, and now we got to build up the military infrastructure over there at trillions of dollars because they have this ability that Biden is welcoming. What kind of stupid comment is that?
Terrible. She should be fired, like you said, but nobody will fire her. They probably told her exactly what to say, and she does her job.
No, I think what happened was, I think she slipped. I think this is how they talk behind closed doors. And I think she slipped. I think she said out loud what they say in private, but don't mean to say in front of television cameras. Sometimes, these reality shows, I remember The Real World on MTV, they said, watch what happens when people forget the cameras are rolling. That's when you get to see what's really going on. And when you live your life in front of cameras and in public as much as Jen Psaki, every once in a while, you slip. And she slipped, and she said out loud on television what they joke about off camera.
She really should have said, we condemn it, it's a terrible thing to do. But
what about North Korea? Do they welcome stiff competition with North Korea too, and Iran? And come on, and this is an administration that just gave Afghanistan back to the Taliban that attacked us on 9/11 with Al Qaeda. So do they welcome competition with the Taliban too?
Dumb things they say. I don't know.
It's not dumb. It's scary.
Sure.
And no one in the media, I don't think other than me, is calling her out on this.
The media is in their camp. The media is part of the organization.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm talking about. Now, one thing you say about Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino, if he was vaccinated, I think it's just a publicity stunt, because why would anybody who's vaccinated be worried about some kind of mandate?
Well, he said, I played the clip, Dan Bongino said that he's standing up for the people that work at the company that are going to lose their jobs. And he said they can either have the mandate or him. They can't have both. He said it on the air.
Oh, so I misunderstood. So you're saying he's saying that because he's protecting the other guys in his day.
That's what he said.
Wow. Well, that's a hell of a thing. He's a stand-up guy. I left with him.
Well, if he does it, if he means it, if he means it, like I was saying, maybe he wants it out of the radio show. Maybe it's too hard with his TV and his podcast. Maybe he makes more money doing those two and the radio show gets in the way. A radio show, when you look at everything else that he's doing, a 3-hour radio show in the middle of the day, when you're doing TV and you're doing the podcast, that radio show could very much get in his way. And it may not be as lucrative as the other ventures.
Hannity's doing it, and I'm sure it's big money. I mean,
well, Hannity's doing it, but he's not doing a podcast too that he owns, and he's got a different thing, So I don't know. Maybe he's looking to be full-time 5 days a week on Fox, and maybe he's looking for an out. His TV, maybe he's looking for an out of that radio show, and he's using this to get the. I don't know. He could be for real.
I don't know what the viewership is on that radio show. I know Buck Sexton and the other guy, he's probably falling.
Yeah, they suck. Hey, Conservative Doug, I got to run, but thanks for the call. We'll be right back after this. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Hi, Brian Craig here. You've heard Dr. Mitch Matez and Steve Kane's wife Lori talk about their COVID testing at Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. I've been tested too. So is Steve Kane and his son Tyler. Today on the radio, Rabbi David called in. He felt that he was getting sick and wanted to get tested for coronavirus. So he went to Any Lab Test Now of Boca.
Go to Rabbi David. Hey, Rabbi.
By the way, you might hear congestion in my voice. I actually had a lot of congestion. I felt a little sick. And of course, I get nervous that, is it COVID or not? My wife also. So guess what we did? I listened to you. I went down to Any Lab Test Now yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. Went right in there. They put a little tiny thing, you didn't even feel it in my finger. Literally 10 minutes later, not a second more, they came back and said, you're fine, negative, great. We went on our way, and we just, not even worried. So
that $69 price is just for Steve Kane Show listeners. You got to mention that, and it's that little finger test. You get it real quick. I'll tell you, anytime somebody has any type of congestion, all of a sudden there's anxiety sets in, not just for them, but everybody around them. It's best just to go in and get the test. Say, I don't have the COVID. You know what I mean? Instead of dealing with all the wonder.
And they give you a piece of paper. So yesterday, I actually walked around with it. When people heard, you don't sound so good, I take out that piece of paper. I said, I was tested right here, and I pick up the piece of paper and showed it to them that says negative. And
Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Coral Springs, they're good people, and we're very lucky to have them.
They're very caring and full of information.
First, we had a doctor recommendation from Dr. Mitch Matez. Now we have a rabbi. Rabbi recommended Any Lab Test Now of Boca, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for your COVID testing. Yeah, that's great. Rabbi recommended.
Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Rabbi recommended by Rabbi David for COVID testing. Rapid coronavirus testing, just $69. But you have to mention you heard them on the radio. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is. Their number, 561-237-5009. Make sure you mention you heard them on the radio.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWE.
Hey guys, welcome back. 21 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Have you seen this video that's gone viral of the female black drill sergeant with the mostly white soldiers in boot camp? Oh my goodness. We are in so much trouble, people. We are in so much trouble in this country. Our military, There's been a big move. It started a few years ago with this metrosexualism. There's been a big move to feminize men going on for a long time in this country, and now it's getting insanely out of control. I'm going to play you some audio in a minute, but let me read this article in the Gateway Pundit. A video showing a female drill sergeant who is African American, and I believe her being black is very important to this story. They don't say it in this story, but because they got the video here, you can see, but it's important. A video showing a female drill sergeant leading a group of U.S. Army soldiers in a woke chant about Martin Luther King Jr. has gone viral. Many on social media have said it's a sad reflection of the state of U.S. military under the command of Joe Biden and General Milley. Milley, the woke liberal general who has lost the war in Afghanistan, told Congress in June that he wants to understand white rage. Okay, now let me play the audio, and then I'll describe what's going on after. The black drill sergeant, you know how when the soldiers are marching and they do those chants? That's what's going on here. This one's about MLK.
Hey! He tried to lead the way. But he was shot one day. In the early morning. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's okay. I've seen better days.
There you go. And now, to describe what it looks like, I did tweet this, but the lady drill sergeant, the recruits, these boot camp recruits, they're marching. They're all wearing masks, which is really not the way to show strength in the military. If they're in hand-to-hand combat, just take off the mask and they'll run afraid. But their clothing, what they're wearing, I find very strange. Now, you ladies out there, I don't remember. My wife was telling me about this last night, but I can't remember what they're called. Do you know those shorts that women wear sometimes that look like a skirt, but they're actually shorts? There's a name for it. Squirts. Is it squirts? Like squirts? What are those called? The shorts that look like skirts that women wear. If anybody knows what those are called, let me know, because I don't know too much about women's clothing, but you know what I'm talking about. They look like they're wearing those skirts, those shorts that look like skirts. Squirts. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. So they have a group of men. Almost every one of them is white. They're wearing what looks to be like skirts. They're wearing masks. They're being marched singing. And now I'm a big, strong supporter of Martin Luther King. I've been to his museum. I've been to Ebenezer Baptist Church, and I have so much respect for Martin Luther King. So everything I'm talking about has nothing to do with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was a great man and did a lot of great things. Okay? And he's an amazing person. A lot of you may not know. Do you know his mother was assassinated playing organ in the church? Sad, isn't it? I know, it's crazy. If you ever go to Atlanta, go to the King Museum and then go to the church, and then his house is right up the block from the church, Ebenezer Baptist Church. So this has nothing to do with Martin Luther King, but what I'm talking about here is this. So we have these U.S. soldiers wearing shorts that look like skirts, wearing masks. Most of them are white. They're chanting Martin Luther King civil rights hymns, being marched by a black drill instructor. This is what I believe is going on here. This is that critical race theory that the Defense Secretary Austin and Milley were talking about. What we have, and I know this will sound insane, and I really do want to be wrong about this, and I want to hear your thoughts on the phones either way on this, at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. I believe there are several things going on here. One, they're trying, the boot camp is about making men men. At least I thought it was. Better men, stronger men. I think they're trying to turn the recruits into feminine men, girly men. Schwarzenegger probably can't say that anymore. He probably wouldn't say it. Trying to turn them into girly men. There's also there's a gender confusion thing going on here. They want to make men, using the military where you are basically a slave, they want to make men subservient to women, and there's also a racial element here. This drill sergeant is taking, in my opinion, looking at this, great pleasure in commanding her white men, making them dress like girls and chant black civil rights hymns. I do believe it. It's almost like she's a black slave master with a platoon or two of white slaves. It seems that way to me watching it. And I'm not, I don't like thinking that way, but that's what it looks like to me. This is one of the most frightening things I've ever heard about American national security. If this is what's going on in boot camp, our national security is very much at risk. Now, we're going to take a break in a moment, but I want to hear from you all about this at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I know a lot of you have seen the video. I tweeted the video. It's on my Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can watch the video. It's at the Gateway Pundit and it's elsewhere. And I'm really hoping that Tucker Carlson picks up on this. I didn't see his whole show last night, but maybe he did it last night. If he didn't, I hope he does it tonight. And if President Trump were in the White House right now, I think he'd be on the phone. This female drill instructor should be removed from her post, and everyone above her in the chain of command at whatever base she's at should also be removed while a major investigation goes on as to what is going on in basic training in the United States Army, and is this spread to other bases and other branches? I don't know what the hell's going on here. But they're not making men. They're not making fighting men. They're making men into girls. They're filling them with white guilt and making them feel as if they owe some type of debt to African Americans. There's very strange things going on here. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, that's the number. 888-465-2631. Frightening stuff here. Now, I was talking in the first hour. Those of you watching on YouTube, you may think I just rolled out of bed and got here. I did not. I am fully dressed, but I am wearing my MyPillow bathrobe to work this morning. And, here we are hearing all about the supply chain crisis, et cetera, et cetera. There will not be a supply chain crisis with MyPillow. Everything is made and manufactured at Mike Lindell's facility in Minnesota. Okay? So no supply chain issues there. And the MyPillow bathrobe, I've not talked about the MyPillow bathrobe in a while because they're so popular, they ran out of some of the colors. They have all the colors in now, for now. They will run out again. They're so popular. They sell like hotcakes. And there's an incredible new special. Now, they have two types of they have MyPillow bathrobes for men and women, but they have lightweight and heavyweight bathrobes. The one I'm wearing is the heavyweight. They didn't have the lightweights when I got this one. Those are new. And I've already asked my wife. She may have already gotten it for Christmas. I've asked her for a lightweight bathrobe for Christmas, and they have many new colors, including burgundy, and they have it in both men and women. I want the burgundy lightweight. It'd be like a smoking jacket, even though I don't smoke at home. And these bathrobes, they're great for yourself. They also make incredible gifts for anyone on your gift-giving list. And with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. Yeah, I know, it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? 30% off when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. I want to remind you, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE, KANE, at checkout. But these bathrobes, you want to take advantage of this while they have the colors in. They do run out of colors very fast and sizes, and everything is in stock currently. But we are in Christmas shopping season, people. It has started. So that's promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at MyPillow.com. 30% off the MyPillow bathrobes. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716 4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. We'll be right back.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing,
Steve Kane
and
Show.
Restoration. We have been in
Steve Kane
the
Show.
roofing and construction industry since 1982.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Attention seniors. Have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning workshop. Make sure you and your family are properly protected from financial ruin. Learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. Learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. Learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. Learn how Medicaid can pay for your nursing home and home care expenses, and much more. This free workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, October 26th at 2 p.m.
I tell you, that video of the drill sergeant is really scary.
So reserve your seat for this free
Really scary.
workshop. Call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 855-352-3782. 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we're back 35 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We'll go back to our phones at 1-888-GO-KANE1. You're welcome to call in about anything we've brought up so far on the program. Let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. I remember those shorts that look like a skirt as culottes.
Culottes, huh? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, this thing with the military, I think this is kind of like payback for the supposed white privilege.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading into here.
Well, I'll tell you. There was. It depends on your age. I mean, I'm sure there was a time when it existed. There was a time during the Democrat Jim Crow era and stuff like that. There was a time, but that time is long past. It's long past. And what's happened is, if you look at every civil rights gain from every group, they didn't get it themselves, right? Men gave women the vote in 1920. Whites passed the civil rights legislations, not blacks. Not blacks, they weren't in power. Straights, heterosexuals, passed the gay rights legislation. And it can go on and on, okay? So what's happened is all of the minority groups, we have total equalization now. We have equal opportunity. You don't have equal result. There are many variables, right? But now that we have a totally integrated society in every aspect you can possibly imagine, these minority groups have become what they think they're against. They become bigots, they discriminate, they want to segregate, listen to this. This is in the New York Post yesterday. Chicago Museum fires all of its mostly white female staff because there's not enough diversity. There were too many white people, so they just fired them all. And that's insanity. That's insanity, and that's what's going on.
I think at this point the minorities have the upper hand. They get preferential treatment when it comes to jobs and layoffs and things of this nature.
Yeah, my daughter, I tell my daughter, my daughter's biracial. Okay, she's biracial. And I always tell her, mark black on every form you ever fill out. Never fill out. And when she was in high school and she was getting ready to do her SATs, before she did, I said, what do you mark down? And she puts other. And I said, no, black. Always put black. And she says, why? And I said, because there's more opportunity, and if you put that down, and she puts black on everything she fills out, at least she tells me, I hope she does. And I encourage her to always do that, because of what you just said.
Yeah.
It's not it's not that she's not qualified, but opportunities are shut down for qualified non-minority people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
if somebody less qualified that's a minority will go be picked ahead of someone who's more qualified.
Yeah.
That's Caucasian.
Look at the Secretary of Defense, Austin. Textbook example.
I'd rather not look at him.
No, he's awful. Hey, take care. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. 3 times, and you're done. All right. Oh, yeah. This is something. And you guys, if you don't read the New York Post, you should definitely read the New York Post. I know some people in the chat room are upset that I tell my daughter to make sure she marks black instead of other. But, yeah, she is black. It's not that she's lying. She is black. But she's biracial. So, But if you think that's the wrong thing to do, call me. I'd love to hear from you. We don't say these things to be agreed with everyone. You don't have to agree with us all the time. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Oh, here. Hello. Once, twice. I was just about to let you go. You're on the air. What's your name?
Oh, it's Ricardo.
Hey, Ricardo.
Hey. I just want to say that me and my daughter always listen to your show. We are a big fan of the show. And that we really think it's terrible about that video and that whole situation between that lady and the blue camp.
Oh, yeah, at the boot camp. It's pretty bad. How old's your daughter?
She's 13.
13? Oh, well, great. So she's 13 and she sees the world properly from a conservative viewpoint. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally, Ricardo? Where are you from originally?
From Brazil.
Brazil. Now, they tell us that all these Haitians are coming from Brazil.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible down there.
Yeah. We have a lot of Brazilians here in South Florida. And they're good people. But I'll tell you, there's a caravan of 95,000 that are coming to the southern border right now. Now, how did you come to be in the United States?
I was relocated here for work.
What do you mean? Are you a U.S. citizen, or what are you? What are you, a foreign national? What's the deal?
Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen now.
What kind of work are you in? How did you get relocated here?
I work in security in the bank.
Oh, you work for a Brazilian company, and they transferred you here, and then you stayed.
A bank in U.S.
Oh, okay. And you made it here? Well, great. America's a great place. So you did it through the legal process. There was a process to go through.
Yes.
So when you went through a process, which is an inconvenience at least, if not a difficult process that takes time, what do you think about these tens of thousands of people that just walk across the border and don't have to go through what you went through?
I know. It's not a fair process, right? And of course, there is a lot of injustice per se, because we can compare how a legal person comes here and it's a process, official process, and you have to go through all that process, and you pay your tax and you do everything by the book, and then you see people, it doesn't matter which country they are, but coming illegally, don't pay tax, put their kids studying with the same kids as everybody else.
Yeah, see, America, conservatives, Trump supporters, we're not anti-immigrant, but, I mean, think about it. If you went to Walmart today and someone cut in front of you in line, you're going to get pissed off and stop them. There's a legal process in place to screen people. You don't want people coming, like all these tens of thousands of Haitians coming into America in the last few weeks, and there's 95,000 more coming. There's a story being suppressed by the media of these Americans, some of them children and a Canadian or two, kidnapped by Haitians in Haiti. There's got to be a screening process to make sure that the people that are coming here are not the people you don't want moving in next door to you. And when they're just opening up the border, you don't know who's coming through.
Yeah, and I think we have the same problem with the Afghanistan now, because we have so many refugees coming out of there worldwide, but we don't know who they are, and there is no way to screen them. They come without any documents or anything.
That's right. I saw a story over the weekend. I think it was on Fox or Newsmax. I think it was Fox, of an Afghan translator and his family that were relocated to a small town in America, and it's near where a soldier he worked with in Afghanistan was wounded severely, and he's lost his legs, and they met, and the whole community came out and welcomed him and his family, and his wife is wearing the burqa and everything. And I wonder how welcoming they would be if 200 or 300 families from Afghanistan came in that one of their neighbors didn't know from the translator days. I don't think they'd be welcoming them all. Because you're right, you don't know who they are. They could be terrorists. The White House has said terrorists got on some of those flights.
Yeah, and the problem is you can have one bad apple in the whole batch, and everybody will be blamed for that bad apple. So that's...
Yeah. Well, hey, Ricardo, you and your daughter have great taste in talk radio, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning.
I just wanted to say that I was listening to you earlier about how you tell your daughter to check that she's black, being biracial.
Yes.
I do the same thing. My late husband was Spanish. I am, my son's sole parent, and I tell them to mark Hispanic for everything. Going to school, they mark Hispanic.
Now, my daughter does this phrase, in America, if you're biracial, like Obama is biracial, but they don't say he's the first biracial president. He's the first black president. If you're biracial, you're judged as a black person in society, in America. So she's not doing anything wrong. I'm not telling her to do anything wrong. But the sad thing is there's a big move to discriminate against non-black and Hispanics in this country. There's a move to discriminate against whites and Asians by the left and by our institutions. And I wish I could mark down Latino or black. If I could, I would, but I'm not either. So, and I think it's a smart move.
I believe that there will be more opportunities for them by, marking down Hispanic. And of course they are. I mean, their dad was Spanish, so.
And it's not like my daughter's not qualified. She's highly qualified. She's smarter than I am. We call my daughter, her nickname is Tech Support. Anytime we have a problem with our phone or computer, we call her Tech Support. But, hey, anything you can get to get an extra helping hand. Buttigieg had the Kennedys. My daughter doesn't have the Kennedys, right? So she's got to use what she's got. So, all right. Hey, listen, you too. Take care. Welcome to the program. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had two bow ties in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I always really check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody had, the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000-mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than
Oh, you
the
startled
other
me.
shops around town. That is
I didn't see it come in.
And came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The prices that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires, anything else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977.
What's going on?
9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445.
Oh, really? Something happened?
Or you can just stop right in. The
Okay.
address is
They seem to
listed
be
at
working.
SteveKaneShow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since...
No, Rich came in. He wanted to tell me something, but then he said, no, I shouldn't say while you're streaming. Must be good. I'll find out what it is after the show.
Windows and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us.
I'm going to play it again, the clip of Bongino. Steve's joining me at 8, so I might play it at 8.
You will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Now, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta can help you. Panhandle to Key West. He does every kind of roof, too. Not just the different types of roofs, but he does single-family homes, businesses, office buildings, churches, whatever it is, condos. He can help you no matter where you are in the state of Florida. He's a good MAGA guy, and this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. So give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Richie.
Oh, Richie the bus driver. Hey, Richie. You got me in trouble yesterday. Don't be calling me twice.
I apologize to Steve and you, and Steve, I hope you're listening. If somebody completely attacks you, and I know it's your show, on your being Jewish or whatever, I mean...
Well, let's don't relive it. I got through it, It was, But what's on your mind today, Richie?
That's my fault. All right, now, because I was upset. Now, here's the deal, Brian. We're people that wake up. First of all, I'm surprised that if they listen to you, they're going to call you a racist white supremacist, because anybody that defends tradition in this country, I mean, straight white people in this country, to defend them, you're now a racist. To salute the American flag, you're a racist. To look at our founding fathers and see statues being taken away.
Well, President Trump made a prediction once that seemed insane, and now it's happening. He said one day they're going to take down the statue of Thomas Jefferson, and here they just did it, right?
And Superman, did you hear about that one?
Which one, that he's gay, or the American way being taken out of it?
At the end of it, Truth, Justice, and the American Way, the new comics took away, and the American Way.
Well, Superman, this is the thing. We've got this woke... This all happened because of the radicals in the Vietnam War era. They all stayed in colleges and got advanced degrees because they wanted to avoid the draft. And they've been infiltrating our schools and curriculum ever since. And the American way being taken out... Truth, Justice, and the American Way is what Superman's all about. There's a version of Superman called... that they came out with a comic called Red Sun. and they made a cartoon about it that's on demand, but I got the comic when it came out, Red Sun, and it shows what Superman's life would have been if he would have landed at a collective farm in the Soviet Union, as opposed to, in Smallville, and it's not good.
Right. What do you think? What do you think this open border is letting everybody in that's not non-white is all about? Because they look at us as from the very beginning as a legitimate country.
Well, did you see this video I was talking about with the black lady drill sergeant and the soldiers?
So I listened to it, and that's another thing. Let's get even. You want to know what this is all about? Just look at South Africa and see what happened there. And believe me when I tell you, I spoke to people, white people from South Africa that were discriminated against so bad they had to leave. They used to love their country. Now, I don't agree with apartheid, but I don't agree with vengeance. And what you're seeing in the United States right now is vengeance. We are being, in other words, everything is equity, because it open borders, because it was a white country. Indigenous people, I can remember when Marlon Brando got up there and made that statement, and he was looked at like a weirdo. And now look what's happened to what's going on.
Yeah, I know. They ran Marlon Brando out of Hollywood pretty much because of, Well, listen, we're in big trouble. We're in big freaking trouble. And and I really truly hope that Tucker Carlson does, not Hannity, Tucker Carlson does that story on the black lady drill sergeant with these recruits in boot camp in the skirts. With this, it's important. People need to know what's going on in the military.
Well, it's just the military. It's our society. You know, I was raised, and you say the old timers. I was raised. If you go to a retail store, you bought something. If you got caught shoplifting, you went to jail. Now look what goes on.
Yeah, they've legalized shoplifting, and if you go on TikTok is filled with videos of people shoplifting. You can get away with shoplifting a certain amount of money. So what the shoplifters do is they add everything up before they leave. They even factor in with tax, because sales tax would increase the value possibly. And they walk out, and the stores just say, "See ya, can't do anything about it."
Mostly black, but if you say you're white supremacist.
Yeah. All right, Richie, take care. Going to keep it short today. Got me in hot water with Steve yesterday. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Yes.
Hi, this is Renee from Chicago.
Oh, hey, Renee. How you doing? Yeah, all right. You're in Lori Lightfoot country.
Oh, gosh. Don't even talk about that.
Dude, I wonder if a lot of kids, with Halloween, do a lot of kids dress up as Beetlejuice in Chicago? Is it a more popular costume in Chicago because of the mayor?
Well, for the last couple of years, we have not gotten any trick-or-treaters in this downtown Chicago. So,
well, who would open up their door? You open up your door, you're going to get held up.
It's not a pleasant city to live in. Let me tell you that. I'm not from Chicago, but I'm calling because with all this critical race theory and all these things that we're talking about, I did not see the video of the Marine or whatever. I just tuned into the show and I didn't see that, but I just wanted to comment that I grew up I was a minority in my high school. I am white, and we had a lot of black students. And a couple of years ago, went to my 35th high school reunion. And one of my African-American classmates said to me, she said, "Sherry, we were so lucky growing up as kids." She says, "We didn't see black, we didn't see white, all we saw were kids." So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I think that a lot of these attitudes are being instilled in people. They're not really there, but they're instilled in people, and they don't have to be there. And I think it's really sad.
Well, what's happened here is, and this is upsetting to me, and to Steve too. And I know a lot of people think we always use I hear this a lot. You use your kids as props. Steve and I are both very pro-life and pro-adoption, and the reason we talk about our children is because we're promoting adoption every time we do it, and especially interracial adoption. And my mother was adopted, but I adopted interracially because Steve had done it, and I'd seen how wonderful it was for his family. I would have still adopted, but maybe not interracially if Steve hadn't talked about it so much. But anyway, we have a vested interest in race relations because my family's an interracial family. I have one child, and all my grandkids and great-grandchildren are going to be black. or biracial, you know, and so I've got a vested interest in it. And what I'm seeing in the black community today is scary. I see racism that is so filled with rage. It's like the white Democrat segregationist screaming the N-word at the first black students to be integrated into Little Rock High School, you know, or what, you know what I mean, or Central High School, whatever the school, you know what I'm talking about? And they feel so just anger towards white people. That's scary to me. I'm afraid my great-grandchildren are going to look back at me, at all the photographs of me in my MAGA hats, and think I was a Klansman.
Really sad, because you know what? Children are innocent and they don't see anything. We never saw that. Like I said, in high school, we were just
well, that's why they're bringing in critical race theory. They want, you know, it was bad enough when they were polluting kids' minds in college. Now they want to start it in pre-K. This critical race theory, that's what that's about.
Now, do you remember affirmative action? I don't think that's still around.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Absolutely it is. Yeah.
I remember working in an office many years ago, and you know, I was a secretary to the personnel director at the time, and I had to fill out some very confidential reports. And I remember, you know, certain people got hired, and we had lovely people in the office, but there was one particular person who had been hired, who I'll never forget. And I don't want to go into details, but I'll just say this person was working in one of the offices, and he ran out of staples for the stapler. And I said to him, well, here, let me help you show you how to fill the stapler up with staples. And he says he didn't want to know how to do that because they would ask him to do it again. Like, he didn't want to know the skill because he didn't want to have to be held responsible to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that might be an extreme example, but my point is also, like, even as cheerleaders, we always had, like, you know, even number, black and white. And to me, personally, I think no matter what your race is, if you're the best, you take it. If you're the best, I want to compete. I don't want anything that I didn't earn. And I think that it's just kind of, it's a negative.
Well, what the left would say is, that's mighty white of you, you know, and that's mighty white of you, that you are going to yield your privilege. I sometimes I wish white privilege existed, because life's tough, you know. But it's a myth. In fact, I think it's more of a handicap in today's society, honestly, to be white. I really do.
I will never apologize for who I am, and I wake up every day. Ever since 2021, it's just been a nightmare in this country as far as I'm concerned, and it's just I'm just trying to live it.
Well, you know, I use this example. This is I've used this example before, but it's a good one. I was watching. I watch a lot of YouTube videos with these van life people before the Petito thing. I don't watch them anymore, but I used to. And there's this whole genre on YouTube of van life, and there's a subgenre of black van life. Black people and they call it black van life and black RV life. And I was watching this one very nice family. They live in an RV and they travel America, and they're having and they did this one video where they say, you know, we bought this ourselves. We didn't have a trust fund to buy that. You know, and I realized black people believe that all white people are born with trust funds, like the Kennedys or something. And certainly there are people that are born into privilege and things like this, but most are not. And there's so many negative stereotypes about white people that are taught to minorities, like we're all born rich with trust funds, that it becomes their reality. Well, listen, I got to run for a break, but welcome to the program and thanks for calling. All right, take care. All right, nice lady, conservative. Maybe Jesse Smollett is right. South side of Chicago is MAGA country, because that's downtown Chicago MAGA on the phone there. Maybe she could be a witness in Jesse Smollett's trial. We'll be right back. Steve Kane will be joining us. It's 8 o'clock.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning workshop. Make sure you and your family are properly protected from financial ruin. Learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. Learn how to avoid being forced to spend down your assets. Learn how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets. Learn how Medicaid can pay for your nursing home and home care expenses, and much more. This free workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel is Tuesday, October 26th at 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray. Seating is limited, so reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop. Call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. That's 855-352-3782. 855-352-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now, here's...
All right, third hour has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. 4 minutes after the hour. And Steve, you with us? Absolutely. I hear you. Good morning. Steve Kane joining us. Oh, my goodness. So much going on and lots of troubles, too, but that's okay. Oh, my gosh.
Hear the Chisaki press conference yesterday?
I did play a clip from it. I know you maybe weren't listening earlier. I wonder if it's the clip I played. Which part are you talking about?
Wouldn't it be interesting if we both picked out the same clip?
Did it involve the thing with China? Yes. Yeah, well, let me play that.
Story.
Let me play that again. I wanted to recap with some of the sound bites I played already anyway with you because there's craziness going on. Now, you may have seen over the weekend the Chinese have a new global missile that can, well, hit any spot on the planet Earth that they desire.
Sonic.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it's too fast to shoot down. So there is no weapon available that could... Yeah, like that Iron Dome in Israel, most advanced missile defense system in place, wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. And Jen Psaki was asked about this by one of the reporters yesterday, and her response was very revealing. Here it is.
And then can you comment on reports that China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile over this summer to the surprise of U.S. officials? Are these accurate, and do these raise concerns about China's nuclear capabilities?
Well, I know Secretary Austin, I should say, was asked this question this morning and addressed it, but I'm not going to comment on the specific report. I can say, and would echo what he said, which is generally speaking, we've made clear our concern about the military capabilities that the PRC continues to pursue.
Now, PRC, that's inside. That's People's Republic of China. I've never heard anyone say PRC before.
And we have been consistent in our approach with China. We welcome stiff competition, but do we not?
Okay, we welcome stiff competition. Now, what do you make of that, Steve?
What do I make of it? I think it's probably the best example I've ever heard of how far removed these Biden Democrats are from reality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bear in mind, the one thing that she doesn't make clear here, but it's important, this is an offensive weapon.
That's right.
Can't shoot down.
No one can.
No defense against it, which means that we're vulnerable to them taking out
Annihilation. Yeah.
and she says, we welcome the competition.
Isn't that nice?
My God, these people are out of, I don't know, it's scary.
Well, I tell you, okay, I agree with what you said, but let me add to it what I said earlier, okay? I agree with everything you said. Isn't it amazing how we both, the great minds think alike, we both had picked out that thing? I guess so. Here's the deal. I think she said out loud by mistake what they talk about in private with Biden and the team at the White House. See, their military donors are very excited because since no defense exists to this on the planet, they've got to give their military contractor donors endless amounts of money to develop something that's equal to that and a defense system. So the donors are cashing in. So this is Jen Psaki saying out loud what they've been saying in private. It was a slip.
It didn't strike.
It was a slip.
Mention it. Yeah.
It was a slip. Yeah. I mean, does she welcome stiff competition from Iran, I wonder, and North Korea as well? I don't know. Maybe they can ask her today. What a scary, scary thing. I was talking earlier about this thing with Bongino, and I played the clip in the first hour, but I wanted to play it again to you. And for those that weren't listening at 6 a.m., first of all, shame on you. This show begins at 6. Set your alarm, 5 to 6. You'll be up. You'll be here ready to go. And you won't miss a thing. But this one I want to recap a little bit. Dan Bongino, yesterday, live on the air, I'm going to play the clip for you, threatened his corporate bosses and said, you can have the mandate or me. You can't have both. He threatened to quit over the mandate at Cumulus. And here's the clip of Bongino live on the air yesterday.
Imagine the countless number of individuals trying to explain to has companies ever thought of that? The countless numbers of moms and dads who are sitting at some kitchen table explaining to their kids how they may have to move out, how daddy doesn't have a job, because a bunch of people in a C-suite thought it'd be a good idea to sit around and play pretend Dr. Fauci for a moment and mandate people jam something in their bodies that they don't want to take. You ever put yourself in that role? You ever put yourself at that kitchen table with mom and dad telling their kids that? Imagine how the kids respond, that fear they got to live with. You know, I grew up without a lot of money. My mom used to make bologna sandwiches for dinner.
Here he is with the Hannity thing, but hold on.
It's no good, you'd cook it, and you'd make it good right quick, right? I'm not leaving any of those guys behind. You can have me, or you can have the mandate. But you can't have both of us.
Okay, you can have me or the mandate, but you can't have both of us. He threatened his bosses to walk out on his nationally syndicated radio show yesterday. What do you think is going on?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I think. I don't know, and I'm a big fan of Bongino.
Yeah.
He's got, of all the new people around, he's got the most talent. If I try to project myself into that kind of situation, see, and I'll tell you why I wouldn't do that. And if I'm sure Bongino didn't consider this, or he might have had second thoughts. When I come on the air in the morning, I don't know if I've ever talked about this at all, but I take my job very seriously. There are people out there that need to be reached, that need to understand this is a crucial time where our very survival is really at stake. And when I come on and I do my show in the morning, I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being egotistical, but I feel that I have important insights that people need to hear. And I think that this show now, especially that we've upped our listenership with all the stations that we're on now and the internet that Brian has set up for us, and that we're reaching enough people that I think I I think what I have is valuable and a service to the country, and I think I do more good coming on the air, sharing my insights, giving people things to consider that they perhaps have never considered before, than I can from a futile gesture of basically...
Steve Kane Show.
What he's talking about is withdrawing.
Hey, Barry.
I wonder what Bongino would say if he considered that position. But I think it's I think he's well-meaning, but I think he's making a mistake, and he's underselling his value. We need him on the air, like we need all of the conservative people that share the Trump perspective. And I don't think he thought it through.
Well, okay, I'm going to throw a couple things out, and you guys in the listening audience, we took some calls in the first hour on this. I want to hear your thoughts on this. There's a few possibilities with Bongino. He's the real deal about this, and I understand seeing people. He's in Florida, and I did find out he is vaccinated. He's had the Pfizer vaccine. He is fully vaccinated. So
that's an important point.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Yeah,
it's just a symbolic act.
No. He's standing up for people at his company that are getting fired. That's what he said. He's So there's one possibility is that he's the real deal, but there's other possibilities too. And one of them is, I think he's a bit overextended. Honestly, he's 3-hour radio show 5 days a week is not easy to do. Anybody that does this 5 days a week will tell you. He has his podcast, which is very successful, and he's got the TV. Maybe he wants an out of the radio show every day, and to do it in a way that saves face, so we can focus more on TV and the podcast.
I think he's
Steve Kane Show.
But I think there's no way this doesn't jeopardize his other efforts.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something going on here. He could be the real deal.
And he also could be grandstanding.
Correct. Publicity stunt. That's true. Well, yeah, but that one's like, but you know what, Steve?
Take what you're doing seriously, that's a possibility.
That to me, though, that publicity stunt. We have a bit of a delay between you and me, Steve, from the studios. That's why there's overtalk. So, I'll take long pauses. Bongino, if that's a publicity stunt, is like the Andy Kaufman Saturday Night Live publicity stunt. It's a dangerous publicity stunt, because if they don't bend, what's he going to do? Now, we are 1 week away from attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group's workshops. 1 week from today in Del Rey, they'll be taking place. And on the line, attorney Barry Siegel himself. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Well, that's great. The thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is the fact that, if any of you out there are receiving care, or a loved one is receiving care or needs care, if we've looked into it, we realize that it's very, very expensive. And the thing is, if you don't have sufficient long-term care or any long-term care insurance, really the only way to avoid spending down your own assets is to see if you can get government benefits. And the thing to understand, to take from this, if you're concerned about this, is you don't have to be broke to qualify for Medicaid. That's right, you don't have to be broke to qualify for Medicaid. You could actually still qualify and keep assets such as your home, such as your retirement account, such as certain countable assets for the person who needs care, and the spouse can have countable assets as well. And even if you're over, we could still, in many cases, help you become eligible so that Medicaid could pay or contribute towards the cost of your long-term care. You don't have to spend down your assets. And this is precisely what we're going to be talking about next Tuesday at 2 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. There's still a few seats available, and if you want one of those seats, you need to call our office. I'm just doing so today.
Yeah, and I've been to that workshop on multiple occasions on the Medicaid planning with attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group, and it is an amazing thing, and it can save not just you a lot of financial help, but sadly, people pass and they burn through everything they have, sometimes even selling their home with those, that last year with the home care, with the nursing home care, and then their surviving spouse is left with nothing. It doesn't have to be that way. Give attorney Barry Siegel's office a call at the Siegel Law Group. They'll give you all the details on the Medicaid planning workshop next week. It's next Tuesday afternoon at 2 in the afternoon in Delray. The number 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care. You too, take care. All right, we'll finish up the break and be right back after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75.
Steve Kane Show.
That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my
Yeah, what's your name? What do you want to talk about? Well, what is it? Hold on. I don't know about that caller. Sounds wonky with that.
Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive, and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on radio. Just search for Double.
All right, now there's another conservative radio talk show host in the news that did something nuts yesterday. Dennis Prager has COVID, and he went on the air yesterday coughing from his studio at home, so he's isolated, and told his listeners that he is unvaccinated and got COVID on purpose. Dennis Prager, who is 73 years old. Yeah, I watched the video. There's video of this online.
True.
No, it's true. He's sick as hell. You can see it. You can see it. He's sick as hell. It's insane. He said he got close to people and was hugging people to get it. And he's got it. And he's not vaccinated. Now he is doing other treatments, but because of his age, and I don't know if he's perfectly healthy. Otherwise, I give it 50-50. What the hell is going on here? Why would he do that? That's crazy.
I can only say one thing. This is kind of shocking, but these antibody treatments.
Yeah, the one that saved Dr. Lemaski and Rabbi David's life. Yeah, yeah.
These treatments are highly effective, and I've had contact with a couple of people who came down with the COVID.
Yeah.
And, it's an intravenous treatment. You get a IV for a couple hours, and it's really unbelievably effective. And a lot of people have died.
Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you.
They knew about this.
Good morning, Brian. Saki proved yesterday that Biden's regime works for the Chi-Coms. No doubt.
Narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he was displaying his faith in the treatments as a way of raising awareness about these treatments, which can really save lives, maybe, I don't know.
To me, it's stupid. It's stupid to get it on purpose. And I'll tell you another thing too. I think I like Dennis Prager a lot. I know he's a bit of a bore and a windbag, but he does this thing online that PragerU. No, he has this thing called PragerU that's on YouTube, and he has an entire company that make these very good, short 5 to 10 minute conservative documentaries on every issue you can imagine, involving everything in the world, and as well as history of the Dems and conservatives, and they're brilliant, and he has reached out to so many young people with these, and he does very good work. But what he is doing here is also a very, very bad example to put out there, that he did this on purpose to prove a point, which is what he's doing. It's irresponsible. It's reckless to do that, I think. It's very bad example to give to the listening audience. It's like, it's like he's like Evel Knievel here, trying to jump over the Grand Canyon in that some rocket that his buddy made. It's stupid. And it's stupid. And I'm concerned for him. I want everybody to pray for him because I like him a lot, and I want him to make it through it. All right, now I did pick up another clip from Psaki yesterday, other than welcoming the ability of China to be able to annihilate the entire planet at will with an unstoppable missile that they have. She was asked, the Bidens went out without masks, and she was asked about it and at the press briefing yesterday, and this is that exchange.
There is a mask requirement inside D.C. restaurants, yet President Biden and the First Lady were not wearing masks while walking around a D.C. restaurant on Saturday. Why?
Well, I think what you're referring to is a photo of them walking out of a restaurant after they had eaten, masks in hand, where they had not yet put them back on yet. So I would say, of course, there are moments when we all don't put masks back on as quickly as we should, but I don't think we should lose the forest through the trees here, and that our objective here is to get more people vaccinated, make sure that that schools and companies around the country can put in place requirements to save more lives and keep people safer, and not overly focus on moments in time that don't reflect overarching policy.
It was not just exiting the restaurant, though. He was walking through the restaurant with no mask on. There is a carve out for people under 2 or people who are actively eating or drinking, so I'm just curious why the president was doing this.
I think I just addressed it, Peter.
Okay, yeah, so she addressed it and move on.
Factually.
Yeah. I mean, rules for the and not for me, or whatever how the saying goes. I've just never seen a presidential administration that does not care what public opinion is. Like during the dark days of the Clinton administration, when the Lewinsky scandal was going on, Bill Clinton didn't have a press conference for a year. And his press secretary, I want to say was Mike McCurry, seems to come familiar. He would have press briefings, but he wouldn't take questions, for a year. And if somebody got a question through, he would ignore it or misdirect, because they cared about public perception. These people, they're praising China's missile developments. They're telling reporters, move on, nothing to see here. I've never seen, and that makes them dangerous. There's no accountability even to the press or public at all.
That's not a shock at all. I mean, why do you think the country's in danger now? Because of these lunatics that are running it.
Yeah, they just don't care about public opinion whatsoever. I mean, none, zero, not at all. And then this, yeah. Now there's a revolt going on among the Chicago Police Department with the police union and Lightfoot over the mandates.
Across the country, by the way, I was watching hopping around a couple of the talk shows this morning as I was getting ready, and they're like little rebellions popping up all over.
Well, what Lightfoot's done is, there's no city as dangerous as Chicago, except New York City, of course. They're rivaling one another. But she is... she's doing something a little different. Let me play this. This is Lightfoot. First voice you hear is a reporter. Then you hear Lightfoot, and she's talking about the police. And the reporter's asking, why are you going so hard on the police with the mandates, so much harder than others, right? Well, because, she's a Democrat. They hate the cops. But listen.
Else who's not here. Since it was short notice on the questions.
Steve Kane Show.
I guess the big question is why legal action, but could I also put it this way? There is a different tone from CPS, from Pedro Martinez. He was asked, what's going to happen to those who don't have their vaccines, and he said the other day, we're going to work with them. We're going to talk to them. We're going to make sure try to understand what's going on. So why a different tone for CPS than the police?
Well, I don't think there is a different tone for one versus the other. CEO Martinez has indicated that, and again, in agreement with the union, so that is one circumstantial difference, that every adult in the system has to be vaccinated. And that agreement was reached months ago, and they've been working very hard to execute on that agreement, reached with all the collective bargaining agencies that employ folks at CPS. So it's a very different set of circumstances, and I think he believes it's going to be a very small group that remains
Now listen.
either unvaccinated or not signing up. And so he understands, though, that accountability is important, as do we. So you asked the question of why the lawsuit. Because we believe that the FOP leadership is trying to foment an illegal work stoppage or strike, pure and simple. We've laid that out in the materials, and we're not having that. The contract is clear and it's been known for a long time. The police unions are not authorized to strike. It's in their collective bargaining agreement, and it's a matter of state law. What we've seen from the Fraternal Order of Police, and particularly the leadership, is a lot of misinformation, a lot of half-truths, and frankly flat-out lies in order to induce an insurrection.
Okay, boom. The cops are leading an insurrection in Chicago, she said. An insurrection in Chicago.
Interesting. This is really interesting what's going on here. Because basically, Biden's biggest supporters are the unions.
Yes. Yeah.
The unions are the ones that are fighting for the various workers. The cops are the different
airlines. There you
unions that airlines, and so Biden is really. I didn't realize this till now. He is really hung up between the rock and the hard place, because if he decides to fight it, he's going against the unions, which is his main special interest base.
Well, and children. Yeah.
He's effed.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He is. All right, let's take a call or two, then we'll break. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. Good. What's your name?
John from Lakeland. How you doing, Brian?
All right.
Hey, John.
Good morning, Steve.
What's up, John?
Brian, I love you, man. Brian, I love you, man, but
Right.
you are seriously over-exaggerating what Prager said yesterday. He did not say he intentionally tried to get... say was that he was not going to live his life any differently than he has always done it, because he's
I'll pull up the story.
unnecessary.
I'll pull up the story. I'll pull up the story. He says he got it on purpose for natural immunity, which he believes is better, which I've heard a lot of doctors say, and he was getting close to strangers and hugging people to do it. So,
Said was he wasn't going to live his life any differently, and the shutdowns were not unnecessary. And
Is it smart? Is it smart for a 73-year-old man who's not a thin man? I love Dennis Prager. Please don't misunderstand me. It's suicidal.
Yeah, but the thing is, Brian, he's been preaching something that I've been preaching to people that I know, because...
No, he is not doing what you're doing. Let me tell you the difference, okay? Let me tell you the difference. It's not, I don't know how old you are. It's not just his age thing. He's doing it publicly. And what he is doing is giving an incredibly dangerous example to millions of people who know who he is and follow him in the news and on his other platforms. What he's doing is irresponsible. He's not just a guy.
But he's not. But the problem with the whole thing is, Brian, we're not getting the whole truth about this vaccine.
Well, it's not about the vaccine. No, excuse me. Slow down. This is not about the vaccine. Okay? There was, I mentioned this to Steve earlier, and I think I did mention this on the air in the first hour. In the late 90s, there was a fad among gays. They called them bug chasers, and they were purposely trying to, well, maybe not everybody did, so let me repeat it. There were groups of people that were going to parties. They called themselves bug chasers, who were purposely trying to get AIDS. It's crazy. And to go around and purposely get COVID at 73 years old and then go public and tell millions of people about it is beyond irresponsible. It's not just like you talking to a couple guys at work.
I tried. Let me just say this, and then you pick up where you left off. It's a bad choice. I've come to a realization about this thing about life, that it's a series of choices, And if you make good choices, you do well in life. And if you make bad choices, you don't do so good. And it's a bad choice to go out and get AIDS or to go out and get the COVID.
Yeah, and
well,
but
I agree with therapeutic are the.
Well, it's but hold on a second here. What he is doing, it's a 50-50 chance at his age and everything else. 50-50 chance how it turns out. Would you say? Well, let me tell you, a lot of you know, okay, I want to tell you something. A lot of you know that Steve and I had a close friend that recently died from it. And I talked to them on the phone twice in the hospital. The first time I talked to them, they were on death's door. I talked to them 2 days later, and they were on the mend. And they sounded great. And then 4 or 5 days later, that was it. When you have COVID, one of my doctors told me this too, by the way. When you have COVID, there is a period where you feel like you've recovered and you're on the mend, and then it relapses for people, and then they die. And the
thing about the therapeutics is, and this is all good because this is educating our audience, which you want to do. You have to do it really quick. If you wait a week before there comes a point where the therapeutics don't work.
Yeah. He's on everything, Steve. So
on this incident, is he tying it to?
Yeah, he's doing everything. He's doing it all. The IV treatment and everything. It's still a risk. It's still a risk, and it's irresponsible to do on the air and publicly. I'm sorry. Joe Rogan's not 73. Excuse me. Joe Rogan is not 73 and overweight. Listen, we got to run for a break, but hey, appreciate the call, and it's scary to me that he says but, that caller. All right, it's 34 minutes after the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian. We'll break and be right back.
Open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now at Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for www.
All right, we are back, and I want to take a moment, and hopefully you can help me with this, Steve, because you know as well as I do that when it comes to lunch, when it comes to dinner, Wings Plus is the place to go. They have the best wings you've ever had in your life. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, you know, Wings Plus in Coral Springs on Sample Road, about a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road. It's also a place where you can wear your MAGA hat with pride. It's the one restaurant that I go to where I wear my Trump shirts and MAGA hats and have no worry. In fact, they sell MAGA hats at Wings Plus and DeSantis hats too. But everything at Wings Plus is homemade right there on the premises, including the different sauces for the different flavored wings. The soups are homemade. Everything homemade right there. And of course, they're open for dining in and takeout. And just the best wings, best burgers you've ever had in your life. Wings Plus on Sample Road, again, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample. And when you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Now, that last caller said I misrepresented Prager. I'm going to read to you. This is what he said. Okay? This is the quote from Dennis Prager. Okay? He says, quote, "It is infinitely preferable to have natural immunity, and that is what I hoped for the entire time, having begun the broadcast with a cough. Hence, I so engage with strangers, constantly hugging them, taking photos with them, knowing that I was making myself very susceptible to getting COVID." And now he has it. So,
then what about making the strangers susceptible?
He might have had it and didn't know it and was hugging, yeah.
Thing to risk his life, but he was risking the lives of other people.
Yeah.
Didn't have a say in it.
I'm sorry. It's reckless. It's irresponsible for him to do that. I'm sorry. And I like Dennis Prager a lot. I'm a big fan of his. All right. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1-888-465-2631. It's the live toll-free call-in number. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Very much. I did something very similar to Dennis Prager.
Well, is that a smart... How old are... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you get sick? Did you get it? But let me tell you, caller. I mentioned this at the top of the show. I've been having some blood pressure problems, and I was given a blood pressure medication by my doctor yesterday, and my blood pressure it didn't work. I took my blood pressure before I left the house, and it's a common blood pressure medication. My blood pressure is through the roof before I left the house today, and I've got some side effects, including the migraine headache I've been suffering from all morning. And well, let me slow down. My blood pressure is through the roof. It was through the roof before I left the house. I can only imagine what it is now. What I'm telling you is, it's a common medication that is prescribed to many people that I took. It didn't work for me. So just because something worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for the next guy. And what Dennis Prager did was stupid. Would you not agree? Stupid. Well, was it stupid? Yes or no? Does it matter to go out and purposely get sick? In what scenario is it? There's. Does that matter? And if you're out there purposely, no, it does. Oh, okay. So it's okay to get sick with something that kills people. And what about the? Excuse me, hold on. What about the people he may have infected? Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he had it a day or two before he knew it and was still hugging people and exposing them. Is what he did responsible?
People taking the.
See, you don't want to say what you know is true. No, you're not. I'm not asking for a counterpunch. I'm asking for an answer to my question. Is what he did responsible and stupid? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Spock here. Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember you. You were a pest, but you seem okay now. Mr. Bill, remember Mr. Bill?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Yeah, we know who you are. We know who you are. But is what he did reckless and stupid? Yes or no?
It was.
You just okay. All right, Mr. Bill. He doesn't want to answer the question. The witness is being here, non-responsive. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Give them a choice?
That has not been revealed. That's a good question, Steve.
Well, it's the essence of the issue here.
Yeah.
Because if what he did was involve other people without their permission, which I can tell you is what it was. Nobody's going to go hugging him if he's got COVID. If they know, that's really...
Yeah.
It's beyond irresponsible.
Yeah, yeah. He's making choices for other people.
Your
he's gone, Steve. He's gone. He's gone, Mr. Bill. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah, I haven't heard from him in a while.
Concession that I'm right.
Yeah. No. He was making choices for other people. Now, I did all last year. I didn't change anything I was doing really. I mean, came to work every day. We moved the studio. Which happened in large part because of that. But Steve and I still went to meetings and business meetings. We worked and did most of what we would normally do. Not quite everything because of some things, but no, I'm sorry. Dennis Prager made a mistake here, and not right.
Here, it's just dawning on me. They say you have to hear something a certain number of times before it really sinks in. Do you know how many thousands of people have died unnecessarily? Because remember back when Trump came down with the...
Yeah. He got the IV treatment before it was approved.
He realized early on that if he were to go public and push it, that it would be because of the unique relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
yeah.
Political. It was all involved in.
Yeah.
I don't. I used.
Vaccine.
But I don't worry so much now because since Dr. J came down with the COVID and had the therapeutics and...
Yeah. I can't pronounce it either, Steve. Yeah. She had the IV treatment. Monoclonal.
And she got better. After just the one treatment. Now I'm not so worried my son's going to die if he comes down with it. Because I just run over to Dr. J's house and she'll take me to get her...
Monoclonal. It's hard to say. I can only say it half the time. But Steve, you made a good point with Prager. Remember the people, there have been people that have been arrested, charged, and convicted for giving people AIDS by not disclosing that they had HIV or AIDS and they had sex with them. And yeah.
There's no difference with this in principle.
And this is not about the vaccine. People want to debate the vaccine and all of this. It's not about that. This thing with Prager. This is a different thing. Yeah. No, I'm talking about what the issue with Prager isn't about whether or not it's about a different thing. And I'm sorry, what Dennis Prager did was wrong, and you can hate us for it all you want, but I think the callers that have called in on his side have been evasive and have done, I have a logic you don't have, and they've done everything but to address it. Is what he did stupid, reckless, and dangerous? Yes or no? And none of the defenders have answered that question. Listen, I want to tell everybody that we're going to break real quick and then come back with the gold report. But if you're watching on YouTube today, Steve, I'm wearing my MyPillow bathrobe to work, and it's very comfortable. Been wearing it all morning, and the reason well, they have the burgundy, which looks like and the reason I wore my MyPillow bathrobe into work today is they have back in stock all styles and all colors of the MyPillow bathrobe. They were out of some of the sizes and colors, so we haven't been talking about it too much. And you want to take advantage for your Christmas shopping right quick and get it, because they will run out of them, especially with this incredible deal they have. With our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. They have multiple colors. The new one's burgundy and a brown that are just spectacular. And they also now have the light robe. The one I'm wearing is the heavy robe. I love it. I've asked my wife to get me the light one for Christmas in burgundy, which I'm sure she's already gotten it. But go to MyPillow.com, promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, 30% off the MyPillow bathrobe. And you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. We'll be back with the Gold Report after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing,
Steve Kane
and
Show.
Restoration. We have been in the
Hey, Joanne.
construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Brian Craig here. Advertising on the Steve Kane Show works. This is Scott, one of our sponsors from Cut My Kilowatts, talking about his experience advertising on the Steve Kane Radio Show. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I am doing great, and Brian, I gotta tell you, I am on 3 radio stations, and you guys are doing better than any of the other 2.
That's amazing.
Our clients, it's been amazing. We did a lady from your show yesterday, and she wants to come in there tomorrow morning with us and tell everybody about it. Yeah, so we did her home yesterday, and then a gentleman, Darcy, just called in today to book an appointment for next Friday. So it's been going wonderful. You've gone above and beyond my wildest expectations. So much for all the great help with getting me this.
Well, that's what we like to hear. You hear that, guys? He's advertising on 3 radio stations, and we're doing better for him than the other ones. That's right. That's the Steve Kane Show right here. That makes me feel good. Oh, man. Increase your company's business. Advertise on Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call me directly or Steve Kane, 888-465-2631. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you. 888-465-2631. And we'll be hearing about you and your business on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All right, we're back. It's time for the Amateur Gold Report, Steve. You can help me out a little bit. And let me go. Remember yesterday, I'm getting good at this, because yesterday I did the Amateur Gold Report yesterday, and I told you it was one of those buying opportunity days. Hold on one second, Steve. Steve Kane Show.
Pull back day.
Okay, yeah. Well, it was a buying opportunity today, day, because today gold is up $19.38 up $19.38 gold at $17.87 Silver up 87 cents at $24.14. Platinum up $19.11 at $1,066.41. Palladium is up $75.32 at $2,122.44. So things are looking good. And Yeah, now we often talk about how William Youngerman not only sells the metals, but also buys them. And I did something yesterday, Steve, that I've not done before. I went over to William Youngerman's and got an appraisal on some things. I'm not going to tell you what it was because it's none of your business, guys. But I went over there unannounced. I showed up, and William Youngerman has a great staff over there that are very knowledgeable. Oh man. Oh man, and let me tell you, I walked in for an appraisal yesterday with a couple of things that I thought were, not worth much and basically junk, and was pleasantly surprised when I got the answer. And that free appraisal they offer to Steve Kane listeners, if you have something made of the metals, take it over there, get an appraisal. It can make your day like it made mine. Now, William Youngerman is located right here in Boca. They open up weekdays at 10 a.m., and the address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building. Online at williamyoungerman.com, and give them a call after 10 at 1-800-327-5010. Also, if you're out of town and you have something made of the metals that you would like to have appraised, give them a call. They can help you even if you're out of town and out of state. 1-800-327-5010. All right, you want to take some calls, Steve? All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. Uh-oh. We interrupted a conversation. Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning. Once. Hello? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Joellen.
Hey, Joellen. It sounded like you were involved in a very important conversation.
No, I'm getting ready to feed my cat.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking to your cat. Okay. I talk to my cat, too. That's okay.
Yeah. So anyways, yes.
Steve Kane Show.
Responsible on his part.
Oh, hey, Anita. Hold on.
Because of, like you said, his age. I didn't know his weight. And like you said, it can go either way. He could die or live.
Sure.
So it depends how long it is. It depends how long it was between the time he was exposed and the time he got the.
But do you think But do you think, Joe Allen, that what he did is smart and responsible, or what? What do you think?
No, I don't. I don't think it is. But on the other hand, when you say it's not fair for the other people, I don't know if they're infected and he's not. He should have given any. So why is it not fair to those people that he's hugging?
Well, if he's on a mission to get it, you don't know you got it right away. It takes a little while to get a symptom. So he could have come in contact with people after he got it on purpose, and yeah, yeah, and people don't understand. He's not a guy at work talking to a couple people at the coffee machine. He's in contact with millions of people. Especially with this is an international story today, and it is irresponsible. I remember Evel Knievel when I was a kid on TV. Do not do this at home. Do not try this at home.
Unless he has a death wish.
Yeah, he's like a stunt man here.
What's national TV saying? Are all the?
This is just breaking. As usual, we're ahead of the TV news on most things we discuss. That's right, but this is I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager. I really am. His Prager University, I watch it all the time, and he does these fireside chat things. I'm all into Dennis. I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager. Do not misunderstand me. I love the guy, but there's a problem here, and if you're pissed off at us, as some of you people are, you're going to probably have to call us tomorrow because the show's winding down. But I'd love to hear from all of you on this. Hey, Joe Ellen, thanks for the call. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, real quick. We're almost out of time.
Yeah, I agree with you're saying. It is irresponsible. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the vaccine. There's a lot of people that don't want to do the vaccine. I find that I have nothing against the guy that stated it's kind of stupid to try to risk it. Or risking yourself.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and I mean, this is nothing new too. I remember maybe it was when Trump was still president. I think a year ago or so, there was a kid, we're having a party to see if they could COVID
Yeah, it's true. That's right. They were on TikTok. You're right. Hey, listen, I got to run, but hey, thanks. Now, the next person on the line is someone that can help me out a lot. We have on the line Janet Cimarelli's partner, Anita, from AJ's Natural at the Festival Marketplace. And Anita, I'm so glad to speak with you today because my blood pressure has been going through the roof the last few weeks, and I got a prescription medication from my doctor that didn't work. It's still high with all kinds of side effects. Do you have supplements over at AJ Natural that can help my blood pressure?
Yes, we have a great variety of supplements that can help you with that. We also have Janet Cimarelli there all the time giving free counseling sessions. So if you want to come in, she'll sit down with you, go over whatever you were prescribed, see if there's anything she can do to support that, or also show you maybe anything you want to do instead of that.
Yeah. You know, I me personally, this is just me talking. When it comes to a lot of things, which includes my cholesterol problem, I always prefer natural supplements over the prescriptions because the prescriptions always give me side effects, like this massive headache I'm suffering from, and I'm, you know, and other problems. And I always find that nutraceuticals, natural supplements, I don't have any side effects when I take them. That's just my experience.
Substances, they really work. It's
Mm-hmm. 98 we met her. 1998 we met her.
really terrific. And you bring your blood work in. That's what's nice. You know, you can go to our sponsor. She'll tell you what you need, what you're short on, what you're long on.
Mm-hmm. Now listen, AJ Natural is located in the Festival Marketplace, right across from the food court inside. You certainly cannot miss it. It's a great location. Now, Anita, your prices are so incredibly low over there. I mean, you have incredibly low prices.
Well, luckily, Janet and I have both been in the industry for a long time, and we have good relationships with some of the best brands. So we've been able to negotiate deals, and we pass those savings on to the customers every day.
Now, those of you that can't make it into the Festival Marketplace and go to AJ's Natural in person, they can take orders by the phone, no matter where you are. Anita, can you give out your number so people who want to call and place orders can do that?
Call us at 954-317-1851.
Okay, one more time.
954-317-1851, and we are there 10 to 5, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday and Sunday.
All right. Well, all right, Anita, take care, and we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. AJ Naturals in the Festival Marketplace. We're out of time, Steve. You've got to sign us off quickly.
That does it for today. We thank you for joining us on behalf of our technical director, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig. I am yours truly, Steve Kane. Till tomorrow, God bless America.
We've got you covered. AM 14.
It's okay, guys, to not always agree.
96.9. South Florida's FM Money.
We can disagree sometimes. Hey, make sure you like the video before you go. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. All right? I would appreciate that. All right, guys, I got to take off, but I'll see you all later, all right? Thanks for watching, everyone. And don't forget, get your bathrobe. MyPillow bathrobe. Promo code Kane, all right? Huge savings. All right, take care.